Did you know that in medieval times, a single harsh winter could wipe out entire villages, leaving no survivors? Imagine walking through a misty medieval forest, the cold biting through your cloak, and the distant sound of a river whispering secrets of the past. You're alone, surrounded by a world where survival wasn't guaranteed, where every meal, every flame, and every shelter was earned through skill, knowledge, and sheer ingenuity. This is not just history. It is a blueprint for understanding how people survived, thrived, and sometimes failed under conditions that we can scarcely imagine today. Stay tuned and subscribe for more medieval survival secrets. New videos every week. Welcome to the world of medieval survival, and today we're diving deep into the techniques, tools, and secrets that allowed our ancestors to endure. Before we begin, make sure to hit like, share, comment, and subscribe to the Warcraft Survival channel. You don't want to miss our future deep dives into the lost crafts of history. Surviving in the medieval world was about more than wielding a sword or donning armor. It began with the essentials: food, water, and fire. In a time before refrigeration, before supermarkets, people had to understand the seasons intimately. Root cellars, for instance, weren't just storage. They were refrigeration systems, born from observation and ingenuity. By digging deep into the earth-lining walls with stone or wood and controlling airflow, medieval families could store vegetables, grains, and even dairy for months. It wasn't just about keeping food, it was about understanding decay, preserving nutrients, and, well, predicting when nature's bounty would run out. Fire, the heartbeat of survival, was both a blessing and a danger. The simplest spark could warm a family, cook a meal, or boil water to make it safe. But of course, the same spark could destroy homes built from timber and thatch. Medieval communities became masters of fire management, developing hearths, chimneys, and even small bellows that amplified flames for cooking or smithing. The process was ritualistic as much as it was practical. Knowing how to store dried tinder, selecting wood with the right resin content, and keeping fireproof sand or clay at hand were daily concerns, really. These practices may seem primitive now, but they reveal a profound understanding of the natural world, fire dynamics, and material science long before it became formalized. Water, often overlooked, was another cornerstone of survival. Medieval wells, aqueducts, and cisterns were engineering marvels of their time. People understood that water could carry disease just as easily as it could sustain life. Boiling, filtering through cloth, and even allowing water to settle were common techniques to reduce contaminants. Rivers were both resources and threats. Their currents carried food, trade, and danger in equal measure. Understanding how to source, store, and purify water could mean the difference between life and death, a lesson just as relevant to modern survivalists as it was to medieval peasants. Food procurement wasn't simply about hunting or farming. It was a blend of ecology, observation, and patience. Medieval survival required a deep knowledge of edible plants, seasonal cycles, and animal behavior. Foragers learned to identify edible mushrooms, roots, and berries, while avoiding those that could kill in minutes. Farmers rotated crops not just to replenish soil nutrients but to anticipate winter scarcity. Livestock wasn't just livestock, it was insurance. Chickens provided eggs, cows offered milk, and goats could survive in marginal terrain. Understanding these subtle relationships between humans, animals, and the land was as critical as mastering the bow or the plough. Shelter, though often romanticized in modern reenactments, was practical and strategic. A wattle and daub hut, while appearing simple, required knowledge of local timber, clay, and thatching materials. Its walls were not just protection from rain or wind. They moderated temperature, resisted pests, and even minimized the risk of fire. Medieval builders often positioned homes with respect to sun angles, prevailing winds, and seasonal flooding patterns. Every decision was informed by experience, observation, and, well, the necessity of survival. Of course, survival was never solitary. Knowledge was shared within communities through apprenticeship, oral tradition, and, just good old observation. Skills were tested constantly during harsh winters, famine, or conflicts. But the ingenuity developed in these moments of necessity honestly remains invaluable today. For modern enthusiasts, understanding medieval survival isn't about romanticizing the past. It's about learning systems, strategies, and methods that are rooted in sustainability, resilience, and adaptability. Whether it's preserving food naturally, managing fire safely, or understanding water quality, these lessons remain timeless. As we conclude today's journey into medieval survival, remember that the past isn't distant. It's instructive. By observing the careful choices, clever techniques, and adaptive strategies of our ancestors, we gain tools for our own resilience. Every hearth built, every root stored, every fire managed is a story of ingenuity and perseverance. If you're fascinated by these historical techniques and want more deep dives into practical survival, experimental history, and ancient technologies, make sure to subscribe to the Warcraft Survival channel. Comment below with your favorite survival skill from history, share this video with fellow enthusiasts, and don't forget to hit like if you want to see more detailed experiments and reenactments. History is alive, and through understanding the skills of our ancestors, we become not just observers, but participants in the grand experiment of human survival. Stay curious, stay prepared, and keep exploring with us, because the lessons of the past are some of the most powerful tools we have for today.